Hello, everybody. I'm Kira Longman, and today I'm going to be interviewing Heike Strombach, who has been Leonard's dedicated trainer for three decades. Heike is about to go to Herakan, to Babaji's ashram, to participate and lead in ceremonies to recognize Leonard's life. It's happening very soon. So Heike, you have a long history of going to Herakan, and you know a lot of information about Leonard and his relationship with Babaji. So could you tell everybody a bit more about that relationship?
Hi, Kira. Yes, I'm going to Herakan actually on Monday. I'm leaving for India tomorrow, and I've been going to Herakan since 1991. That was my first time, and that was after I had stayed with the rebirthing community in California, with Leonard's Center in Sierraville for 9 months, and so I was already well prepared. I was already doing arti every day because Leonard had a temple at his property in California, and so. But first, Leonard had suggested that I should go to see Shastriji. And because
can you explain to people who Shastriji is?
Yes, you were just breaking up. I don't. So Shastriji actually was a priest who was involved with Babaji all the time and from the beginning, and he was the one actually who received the mantra from Mahendra Baba.
Oh.
And recognized Babaji that way, and told everybody that this was Babaji. And so Leonard's relationship with Babaji was Babaji appeared to Leonard in Texas in a meditation, and Leonard was already looking for immortal yogis, and he already had found the beginning of rebirthing, and so he was already developing this technique. And he always said that rebirthing was given to Leonard by Babaji, that it was by Babaji's grace, and it was just to his ego that he could feel that he developed it. But so Leonard received it, and so when Leonard found Babaji, then he recognized that he was the greatest being on this planet. And Babaji knew all thoughts of all people at all times, and he would guide and support people to heal their shortcomings or their egos. And so Shastriji was always with Babaji. He had a family in Rajgah and in near Alva. And so on my first visit to India, Leonard actually sent me to visit Shastriji, because Shastriji was a real friend with Leonard. And so I had many miraculous experiences with Shastriji.
Wow. And
Shastriji knew all things. He had a little watch that Babaji had given him. It was not a watch. It was a square little metal piece. And he could see the past and the present and the future in it.
Wow.
And he would give people readings on their life.
Wow.
And he gave amazing readings. And Shastriji said he could see in the hearts of people. And he said sometimes he didn't really, it was not always good what he was seeing.
I can imagine.
And, but he had a place, so I often, in the beginning when Shastriji was there, I would spend more of my time with Shastriji. And Shastriji also said that Herakan without Babaji was not that special, even so it is still a very special place, and I love going there. And but I guess for Shastriji there was a big difference if Babaji was there or not. And And so I went a few days to Hedakan, and the rest of the time I would spend with Shastriji and traveling with Shastriji. Actually, we traveled together to Chilianola or to Hedakan, and so I would come before the Navaratri, and I would always travel with Shastriji, and he loved me very much. He just gave me the feeling that I was really loved, and he had a little song he would sing to me. So my Indian name, my given name is Hajari, and he would always sing, "Hello Hajari, hello Hajari, Jagadamba tumko pyari." Jagadamba loves you. And so and one time I wanted to learn the sacred fire ceremony. And I did ask Muniraj about it. And for Muniraj, as I was still menstruating, it was a clear no, because...
So even if you, in between having periods, when you're not menstruating, a woman, in his opinion, couldn't do it?
Right. I mean, the Indian scriptures talk about that the sacred fire ceremonies are spoiled when a woman starts menstruating. Well, I don't know. Leonard was not very much into the the ritualistic side of things, so he was more of a free spirit. And Shastriji, he loved the rituals, but he was also like he was also more free. I experienced him. And so for Muniraj, it was like a no, because he thought I was too young and still menstruating at the time. And so when I came to Shastriji, very disappointed, because because we were doing fire with Leonard all the time. And so I wanted to learn the true Havan and the true dedication to the fire in the traditional sense of the Indian culture. And so then when I entered Shastriji's gate, he welcomed me at the gate, and he said, "I teach you the fire ceremony."
Brilliant.
And I said, "How did you know?" And Shastriji just said, "I know all things." And so he taught me the mantras. He taught me to do the sacred fire ceremony. And he said I should be his acharya and go through the world and teach the sacred fire ceremony.
Wow, fantastic.
And he said, whenever you want more participants in your seminars or something, you meditate on me, and I will be there for you.
Oh, I'm getting shivers. Wow.
And so we had a really beautiful, loving relationship, and I felt really empowered. And he was like so gentle and so kind and loving. And he knew all the scriptures, and he was writing scriptures, and he said that so Shastriji and Makan Singh, Leonard, and we would always come together to serve Babaji. And so we've had many incarnations together. And he had a shrine, a samadhi house in the back of his house. And he always sent me there every morning. I had to do puja there, because he said in another life at that place, I was serving Babaji at another time. And so I was very much at home at his house. And and he was really down to earth. I'll tell you one funny story. I was sick with diarrhea. We had gone to Alva. And I was wearing a sari. And when we came home, I was totally sick. And Shastriji said people had stared me sick, because I was like a Western woman and wearing a sari, and everybody looked at me. Everybody looked at me. I mean, it was in 92 or something, 93. And and so I just crashed he had a house, and it had the house around, and in the middle was this courtyard. And so there were beds there, and I just laid there, and I stayed there. I couldn't get up anymore. And so the diarrhea lasted about 3 days. And then Shastriji said, now you have to go to the hospital. I said, no, I can't go. I need to go to the bathroom all the time. And Shastriji said, this might be funny. He said, you are in India. You can shit anywhere. And he put me on this horse buggy. Mm-hmm. Because at the time, I mean, that was 25 years ago. And so I was traveling on that horse buggy to the hospital, and they gave me medication, and then that was it. But at the same time, I was, when I recovered a little bit, he gave the jara in my hands. He gave me the mantra, and he said, now you do jara. Mm-hmm. And there were people, he sent people to me that had typhus.
Yeah.
And I was giving jara to them. I was barely standing because I was just recovering from my sickness. But he said, now you do jara also. Mm-hmm. So jara is waving with the peacock feathers and cleaning the aura.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I have the sacred mantra, and Leonard loved the jara, so I was always doing jara for him. Together with a foot massage. So,
so Heike, if anybody feels a calling within them to, a real genuine calling to learn the fire ceremony, would you recommend them coming to one of your trainings and, working out if it's right for them? And
well, I haven't been teaching the fire ceremony. We are doing basically the vision quest.
Yeah.
So if you want, it depends what you want to learn.
Yeah.
If you're very much into rituals and you want to learn the sacred Indian way, then it would be good to spend time at Babaji's Duni in Hedakan.
Yeah. Yeah, first of
all. Or in different ashrams where somebody can properly teach you that. The recommendation or the requirement, I think, would probably be to be a true vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the requirements that you don't eat dead animals.
Yeah.
And then the connection with the mantra, so that because Babaji recommended Om Namah Shivaya, and that we repeat Om Namah Shivaya all the time, and that it would protect us.
Yeah.
And together with Karma Yoga and work, all my life has been just work.
Absolutely.
Wherever I went, Leonard and we would build doonies and work on his property. And when he came here to my house, we would work on my property. So working together with a mantra.
So you're one of the very few people who are continuing Leonard's trainings in a very similar format.
Yes, and rebirthing is so pure. Many people have called it something different and put it in a different context and all this, but the pure rebirthing is just lying down, breathing divine energy, and given the support and the love and space to go through your own experience in a safe environment. And we usually recommend individual sessions till people have enough experience that they know what they are getting themselves into. Because Leonard always thought it was irresponsible if people didn't know what they were getting themselves into. That they would do any other form than individual sessions.
Yeah, because you need to breathe. You need to breathe yourself through whatever comes up.
Yes,
and be able to do that. Yeah.
And it can be beautiful spiritual experiences, as we know. It can be very intense physical or emotional sensations. And Leonard always wanted people to feel safe.
Yeah.
So that they can really go deep and to complete the sessions at the end.
Yeah. And you, I mean, it is really important for people to do a 3-week training so they get their 10 sessions in that time period, because when you only do a 9-day training, you won't get your 10 sessions, and then you have to look for someone. So 10 sessions with the same person is good, but you're one of the few people, you, Katia and Irene, provide 3-week trainings. And so you've got a busy schedule this year, haven't you?
Yes. I'm also in the process of preparing my next work in Egypt, in Sinai, which is at the site where also my Israeli friends can go. So that's why I chose it. And it's in a beautiful place right on the beach.
Wonderful.
So we can go swimming all the time. That will be in May. I do have a training in Germany in June.
Yeah.
And then we are planning something for the US or Mexico.
Yeah.
And in September. The end of August. And yes. And I will be going to the GEEK, to the International Breathwork Foundation. And
wow.
I will also be participating there, because there's a whole world of rebirthing community.
Yeah.
And Rebirth International, or the Rebirth International Association that we have been forming now, we are uniting, and we are participating in the bigger rebirthing world, and we will be doing continuous trainings in the world. Yeah. And and if anybody likes me to come to their country.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then
you can be an organizer. So do contact us if you want to organize Heike coming to give a training in your country. Heike always travels. She's just like Leonard. She travels around the world, and she's absolutely passionate about what she does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's really good. And you certify people. So we have a certification program where you certify people. You were given the authority by Leonard to use Rebirthing Breathwork International. He gave that to you, and so you will be certifying people.
Yes. And, that's the only thing I did for the last 28 years, 29 years. And I've always worked with Leonard, and I was very dedicated to his work, and I basically do the same thing, but 3 weeks, like you say, is more complete. And I've been doing now only 3-week trainings basically, and still I feel I run out of time, because there's so much more we could talk about. And the idea of real health and physical immortality is still very valid. And so all of Leonard's concepts, they were so far ahead of time.
Yeah.
No matter what he did in his life, it's still very valid and very important information that people can have, because we are programming our life.
Yeah. Both you and I have met Babaji, and what a life-changing experience that is. I mean, it's not just talking about immortals, it's being in their presence, the energy they have, and what's transmitted to you. You can't put into words, can you?
No, that's the point. Yes, it is like, and it was, I could feel it all the time in Leonard's energy. It's that life energy, and it is transmitted by people that really dedicate their thoughts to pure life.
Yeah.
And yes, we all have our individual life and karma or whatever, and Leonard always said, if you don't make it in this life, then in next life it will be a lot easier, and you have already earned something.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Heike. As always, it's great to talk to you, and I hope everything goes smashingly in Huracan.
Yes, thank you. And we will have a little ceremony for Leonard. We will do Havan and spread his ashes in the Ganges, and then I will go to
Wow.
Rishikesh, and we have the 3-week training there.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
it will be a very
Brilliant.
exciting time.
It will.
And thank you, Kira, for everything that you do and that you
Okay.
represent, and being a true friend.
Yeah. Thank you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.